Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at the newest innovation in the journey to actualizing the human race's life on Mars, the warp drive Starship. According to NASA, they'll be able to send a team of astronauts to Mars in 2033, but with this new technology, it seems as though 2033 is closer than ever. Since the discovery of Mars being able to hold human life, scientists have been trying to see how humans can be moved to the planet before Earth is destroyed. One of the people who's been so invested in actualizing this plan is Elon Musk. Musk has actively contributed to the Mars relocation agenda. His space travel-oriented company, SpaceX, has contributed immensely to the realization of this dream. This news that NASA will have astronauts on Mars comes after Elon Musk and his company SpaceX recently unveiled a new Starship in January 2022. According to him, this would be able to make space travel easier and faster. This spaceship would use a warp drive to travel through space, but isn't warp drive travel a fictional concept? How possible is it to bring this concept to life? Some scientists have argued outrightly that this is merely a fictional concept and it'd be totally impossible to make real. Others seem to have a little bit of faith in the project. For example, scientists like Neil deGrasse Tyson jokingly asked him to focus on warp drive travel. He said in his tweet, "Dear Elon Musk, when are you going to stop dallying with Mars rockets and hyperloops and electric trucks and brain-computer interfaces and turn your ample resources to developing a warp drive?" Musk's response shows that he really knows how to apply such technology to create the warp jump and enjoys any healthy challenge that comes his way. He replied to Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, "If we create a city on Mars, Earth-Mars travel will be a powerful forcing function for inventing something like warp drive." Elon was very clear there's a need for a warp drive spaceship to support colonizing Mars. But what is the new warp drive Starship? The new warp drive Starship is a next generation super fast rocket ship that is being built by SpaceX. As you know by now, rockets are not reusable. They're only used once. This is a very expensive cost. It costs about $62 million to launch a rocket. This would only be available to the ultra rich. But how many are willing to splurge on it? The invention of this new rocket will, however, minimize this cost. The reusable rocket is not a new technology. Musk already has a reusable rocket known as the Falcon 9. Even though it's not 100% reusable because some of the parts of the rocket will still be lost, but it would reduce the cost needed to build a new rocket from scratch, as opposed to the cost of just rebuilding the broken or lost parts. It's expected that he'll adopt the same technology for the new warp drive Starship. A new warp drive Starship will be a reusable rocket. It will be a rocket ship that Musk hopes would be able to begin operations and carry people to Mars in 2026, which is just 5 years away. He hopes to move 1 million people by 2050. Worst case scenario, according to Musk's plan, would be to get humans to Mars by 2031, 2 years before NASA sends its team of astronauts. This might seem very unrealistic and totally ridiculous, but Musk is taking practical steps in making sure this goal is achieved. What steps? Well, he started by building a reusable rocket. But apart from the cost, what else prompted the building of this Starship? We'll look at 3 factors. 1. Cost. As we said earlier, according to the billionaire Elon Musk, one of the many limitations to space travel is the financial cost of running a rocket. This is because most rockets can only be used once. It's like buying a new car every time you want to take a trip or go for a ride. It's absolutely crazy. But the difference is that a rocket costs way more than a car. We're looking at millions of dollars when it comes to building a rocket ship. But with a reusable rocket, Musk postulates that the cost of launching a rocket would be drastically reduced to about $2 million. Number 2. Distance. Another significant issue that led to the invention of the warp drive Starship is the long distance between Earth and Mars. On a regular rocket ship, it would take about 5 months to travel from Earth to Mars. That's a really long time to be confined in an enclosed space. It could take a large toll on an individual's mental and physical and psychological well-being. A regular space rocket can take about 80 to 90 passengers to Mars. However, when human beings are confined in a space for so long with people they don't know, there's bound to be chaos and distress. Fights would break out and people would lose their minds. Number 3. Health complications. Also, being in space that long can expose individuals to harmful radiation that is very well present in space. These harmful radiations can cause a lot of harm to the body, even down to your cells. This long space travel can cause an individual to become sterile and impotent, thereby defeating the purpose of multiplication and expansion on Mars. Space travel can also impact an individual's physical health. Being in space can cause your bone density to reduce, thereby leading to osteoporosis. It can also cause a reduction in muscle mass and other health issues. In order to reduce the risk of all of these issues, Musk proposed shortening the time from 5 months to about 1 month if possible. How did he propose to do this? Through warp travel technology, and of course, the super fast rocket ship. So what really is warp drive? Because Elon Musk is a Star Trek fan, it's easy to conclude that he's trying to bring a fictional concept to real life. We can't say for sure if the warp drive travel or warp jump is actually a real life concept. What exactly is a warp drive and how does it work? A warp drive, or a superluminal spacecraft propulsion engine, is a fictional superluminal spacecraft propulsion engine that has appeared in science fiction works. When you're working with warp drive technology, your aim would be to compress the space between you and the planet you want to go to, which would be Mars in this case. For this to work, you would need to create a bubble of flat space-time around the spaceship and curve space-time around that bubble to reduce distances. This concept first appeared on John W. Campbell's 1957 science fiction book, Islands of Space, and it was further popularized by Star Trek. However, even though this concept is largely fictional, it's still the subject of ongoing physics research. How possible will a warp drive and Starship combination be? Well, to be able to form a space-time bubble around the rocket, you need negative energy or negative mass. However, scientists have never seen negative mass, so the other option left is negative energy. To create negative energy, a warp drive would use the amount of mass to create an imbalance between particles and antiparticles. This imbalance is what results in negative energy and creates the space-time bubble. This means that it would be easier for tiny particles to warp easy, right? However, there is a minor hiccup. The amount of mass you would need to create a bubble big enough to cover a 100-meter spaceship would require the mass of the entire universe, and this is very impossible. Trying to do this will wipe out the entire universe, including Earth and Mars. However, in an attempt to provide a solution, scientists like physicist Eric Lentz have proposed that we use positive energy in hyperbolic space-time instead of linear space-time and negative energy. If Lentz's theory is tested and it works out well, then we can be looking forward to the Mars relocation in a few years. This would help Elon Musk achieve his goals tremendously. There you have it, all you need to know about Musk's new spacecraft. And if you enjoyed this video, we have another like it of SpaceX revealing the new super heavy launch pad that will be used to launch the Starship into outer space.